maybe explain to people that have never seen Queens Park before, like just kind of what that's like.
Yeah, so Queens Park, it actually it wears a couple different um a couple different scenes, right? So there's it's obviously in this beautiful area, um, which, full of like incredible houses all the way around it. But it's also like just straight up this park with like animals and whatnot. And I want to say there was a zoo back then, but it's what little while ago. But it was also like kind of where we went to hang out. So as when you're in high school, that was kind of the spot that you would just go. So it was a place that was just like naturally our home. And it didn't matter if you were on the weekends having a good time there, or you had a game, or someone was playing hockey or lacrosse, whatever it was just kind of like the hub where everyone would kind of come together and be around. So no matter if there was a game on or not, the city would always come together and always show support. So it was a really special place, obviously for the lacrosse world. Before Burnaby decided to throw in a wooden floor, it was one of the oldest wooden floors, and the only wooden floors kind of in the game, which I looking back now, I'm thankful for it, because I'm sure I might be able to squeeze out a couple more years in the pro game because I wasn't banging on concrete all a junior. Um, but it's just incredible. There's so much history there. Um, they have the old wooden floor hanging up there as well, and so many guys that have played there. It's really incredible. And something about the atmosphere when you're playing in there, it's just like it's real, it's authentic, it's small, but still, like, it gets packed out, and the people come out and show up. And like one of the guys that kind of hang around there is Shaggy. Used to come out and mop.
Absolute legend.
Yeah, man, he used to come out and hammer the floors whenever there was a little slip going on or something. But just another guy who was just a staple at Queens Park, was always around hanging out, saying what's up. Didn't matter who you were, he would just always greet you with the biggest smile on his face. And it really just it really was just a big example of what New West was about, and what Queens Park was about. And watched a few Man Cups there as well. And was able to watch. Paul, I think you were on that
Yeah,
Brampton team.
yeah.
That was one of the craziest series that I've seen. And I got a front row seat to it. Unfortunately for me, I was a New West fan, but no, it was it's an incredible place to be. It's an incredible place to play. And it's even watching the Man Cup this year, it's like making me be like, man, it'd be kind of cool to go back and play a year back in the homeland. My parents might kill me as they just moved out to Ontario, but something that might be on the bucket list.
We're
Sure.
breaking news. Josh Byrne's
Yeah.
leaving the PLL. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, just watch in the background. We're gonna see a Brinks truck from Six Nations just back up right to the front door.
I have something to say about you going back out west, but dude, Shaggy had his own organ player too. Every time he'd come out and wipe the floor, he would do like it was unreal. So wherever like the spill was, he would do it, but then he would do this, and I probably explained this one time, but like he would do this big giant loop, like wind it up. So like wherever the spill was, then he'd like kind of run along the boards, and then the organ player would like play this tune of him like winding up, and then someone would open the door, and he would just did like a dead 30-meter sprint right out the door, no brakes. It was the best. Like, and then like in that Man Cup, obviously like it was a packed barn, so like whatever, like 3,000 fans. So it's hot, like, and the
Yeah.
wood good, but obviously the guys are sweaty, like, so he was going out so much, and like by the end, so it was like we were all laughing because I remember it was like my first time, and like I hurt I got a Charlie horse, and like all like, and I was like young then, but all these guys talking about like Toradol, and then like by the end of it, like we had a lineup of like basically our whole team was doing Toradol, and then like someone I can't remember who it was is like, man, there's one more spill. Shaggy's gonna have to get a shot of Toradol too. He must just die.
That's
He's still there. He was at the Minto.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
He was there this year. Yeah.
60? I saw like a birthday post. I think he just turned 60.
You're telling
Yeah.
me Shaggy's only 60?
I mean, it was a big number. It might be 70. I don't know. I
I was gonna say the man
and
cup you're
also-
talking about was a while ago.
Oh, I know. I mean,
Shaggy was 12
I'm
when he
all-
was sprinting the first time.
he might. You know what? He may have been one of the players. We don't know. But, he also, another funny Shaggy story was that he had like a little cookie duster like I got going on right now. But then I can't remember halfway through this series whether like I'd have to like look back at how it went. I know it was like we won every game in overtime, but he shaved it halfway through. So I remember like I think it was like Doily or Shoots. We came in like pregame, and like we saw Shaggy with like no mustache, and the boys got all over him like, "Oh, getting a little bit worried, eh, Shag? Got to change it up. Getting a little bit worried." And then he would give it like he'd give it right back to you. It was amazing.
I would have
Yeah.
been worried if I were you guys. Shaggy could have altered the whole series if he gets rid of that
Oh.
thing.
Dude, I mean, when he winds it up, it was a sight to see, man. It was awesome.
I was
Sorry,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
one quick thing on Queens Park. So I was just out there for the Minto. I was hanging with Will, Malcolm, and Goody, two guys who grew up playing there.
Yeah.
And I think just kind of said something about like the atmosphere in there. We were talking about, I was like, how big is Queens Park? And Will threw out a number that wasn't even close. He was like, I think like 9,000. And I was like, really? Like, that's massive. What are you talking? It was like, I think 4,500 or something like that, like something normal. Yeah, apparently like the Man Cup last year was just unbelievable. But I remember, Will threw out the number. I was like, are you sure? Like, I was there when I was a kid. I don't remember it being like, 2 deckers big, but.
No, I was gonna say I remember playing the Minto there, and it was packed, right? Because they do a good job of like I think it was like provincials or like the nationals or something like that for the younger guys. So it's like all Team BC, Team Ontario's there, and it was packed out. I remember just being like rattled because it was like my first time playing in front of like a bunch of people in like a packed barn, and I'm like, man, there's got to be like 15,000 people here, man. like someone's like, you're an idiot. There's maybe like 2,500, 3,000 in here. But no, listen, when they pack it out, and it feels like everyone's kind of on top of you, like the energy's awesome and it feels bigger than it is. But yeah, great place to be.
And it's just like kind of like last thing on Queen's Park. I got two last things. Like the one thing, it being old too. Like I don't know when it was built. Obviously, like it's pretty old, but like that also like just adds to like the atmosphere and stuff. There's something about like just shit being old and like thousands of people, and it makes it like seem crazier too. And
Yeah.
then after that Man Cup, I have a wooden piece of the old floor.
No way.
This is where it gets bad though. If you want to know where it is, I have legit no idea. But I have a square, like just like a 4-inch square plank of it.
Wow.
I'll try
That
and
was-
I'll try and find it.
That was going to be my question because you said something about like the old floors hanging up there.
Yeah, there's like not the whole thing. There's just like
There's, like,
it's like
pieces?
the logo or something, right? That's
Yeah,
on the
it's
back
like the center, like a big wall, pretty much like behind the bleachers. At one end of it is just like they took the floor and just like nailed it on there, just to remember it, and it's pretty sweet, man. It's cool.
That would be sick to like get a table made out of that.
Yeah, big time. I think they were selling it off back in the day. It's been a while though.